We are officially 100 days into Trump as President of the United States again. And he was interviewed by Terry Moran of ABC, and the interview went as you would expect. And the first topic, we're going to do a body language and statement analysis as how was, how Trump, let's say that Trump channeled the interview himself. ABC, illegal border crossings have plummeted, but there are questions about your methods because they are complaining about, oh, how could you be treating all these lovely illegal immigrants like that? Well, they seem to work. Yeah, whatever they are doing, it's working.
As you said.
Let me adjust my sound as usual. I'm not ready.
As you said, it is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask
about my message?
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
they seem to work.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. It seems to work. At some point, he doesn't listen quite what the guy says. The methods or the message? No, the methods are working. Like, especially the border has been sealed. Very, very few people are managing to cross the border into the United States. And, well, the deportations are, you know how they have been working. And I should be making a video about that MS-13 El Salvador, Maryland father that for some reason the Democrats dropped that topic like a brick. I will be doing a video soon. Also, they are pretending to have a trial for every single immigrant, for every single illegal immigrant that they want to deport. And this, we have to say that makes no sense whatsoever.
All I can say is this. If you're going to have 21 million people, and if we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
give
is
21
the law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you're
the law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
No.
The thing is, like you say, how there's moron that I could call moron. Oh, the law is the law. Yeah, but the law is also that you cannot break into someone's home not uninvited or illegally and pretend to be treated as a regular guest. You don't get to break the rules entering and get to enjoy the rules by not preventing that you are not kicked out. That is asinine. That is absurd.
But not trials, hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in, they're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally.
And
We
there's-
have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't, sure, and we follow the legal process. I can't have a trial.
The legal process is actually just rounding them up and putting them on a plane.
A major trial
I'm not
for
saying
every
it.
person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out,
They're
and we have to
bad
get them
guys,
out fast.
Really bad guys. But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out.
Yeah, that is the process. Yeah, it's again. I have gotten that argument many times on X, in which people say, "All right, but you are forgetting the due process. That you need justice. It is not fair for these people. They are human beings." Yeah, but they broke the law entering. Maybe if you want to do things right, maybe these people actually want to live in the United States, then you have the option to self-deport. You self-deport and then come back to the United States through the legal ports of entry and the legal processes, and then that would be better for everybody. That would be better for you as an immigrant. You will not have an undocumented or illegal status, or you would not be prosecuted or pursued or captured or arrested by ICE. So that's something that everybody wins. But no, they want to make it seem like it makes sense for somebody who broke the law entering a country, in this case the United States. It should apply to any country, to be able to do as they please and have a fair hearing. Oh, just to, let's say, let's make sure if you did you enter through a port of entry or not? It's that simple. That's the only question that has to be asked. Also, remember when Trump sued ABC for slander and secured a $15 million payout? Well, yes, here comes another banger.
Murderers, criminals in this country. We have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was for...
Notice that Terry knew that he couldn't win that branch, so he had to move on, and Trump said, hey, no, we are not moving on. We are staying this until you acknowledge what I'm saying.
Photoshop. So let me
And he also said that those MS-13 were Photoshop. I showed you this. I showed you that picture, by the way.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop. So let me
Notice that when he says that was Photoshop, he adjusts his suit because he knows that those MS-13, the letters, were not Photoshop. They were just added on PowerPoint so you can understand the meaning of the tattoos of the guy. And people are so, let's say, cognitively impaired, both on Reddit, on Facebook, and so many people on X as well. They say, oh, those letters were not in his hands. Those letters were added on PowerPoint so you can understand what the tattoos meant. It was like a call to action. It's like let's say, it's like pretending that these letters, the captions of this video, were actually floating. Oh, these letters were not actually floating below them during that interview. No, they were added afterwards by me so you can read them better. It's the same thing. Or, the ABC logo was not floating. That is Photoshop. That is floating right there in the middle of the room like a ghost. No, that was added so you can understand that this was a cognitively impaired interview from Terry Moron on Donald Trump. That's the same. And they want to make it seem like Trump or Trump's administration altered those tattoos or those images of the tattoos in any way, which is misleading.
Photoshop, Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. Hey, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry.
Notice that Terry says, we'd agree to disagree. Let's move on. No, we will not move on. As I told you, Trump is commanding the interview. He's deciding the pace of the interview. And that's something that we should do when somebody wants to make us look bad. Somebody wants to make you look bad in front of people, in front of a group of people, in this case, millions of people. You have to make sure that the cameras record what you want to say, what you mean, not what the other parties. Oh yeah, he just chicken out of this argument because it was Photoshop or something. No. You have to make sure that the people that you care about listen to your actual words.
Want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No.
Again, I want to turn to Ukraine. No, we're going to stay in this topic.
No. He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
Notice that when Donald Trump is speaking, this is very important. He's looking straight into Terry's eyes directly. He is not moving his head. I think he's barely blinking at this point. And he's making sure that his point is driven home. It's like to hammer that point until there's no doubt of what he's saying. This is very important. You have to talk with absolute confidence on what you are saying. At the same time, he's also leaning into the interviewer. That is important, so you make your point.
So in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's...
Yeah, they aren't there because in the photos of El Salvador, there's no PowerPoint on top of the hand. This is silly. This is really stupid.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
there in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13.
Ukraine, sir. Terry's asking him, please, sir, let's talk about Ukraine. No, he had MS-13 on his knuckles.
On his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
Yes. Why don't you just say that? And talking about Biden. Oh, my God, talking about Biden as well.
You think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's...
No, 100 days. 100 days. Did I say 100 days at the start? Because I sometimes have said 100 years. 100 days. The reputation of the United States has gone down.
Way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to.
Yeah, it's this is something that basically only Trump can do, is like tell that to your face without. This is the hardest part, without changing your voice tone. That is the hardest part. He's literally roasting the guy and the channel he represents to his face, and his voice tone is not changing. The frequency of his words is keeping the exact same frequency. He's not rushing. He's not dragging. It's like that is the hardest part. That is the hardest part. So, well, in contrast, at some point he said that I don't have 100% confidence in anything. And who was talking about Pete Hegseth, of course. It's like he could have picked a cabinet, but the cabinet is comprised of people who think and act for themselves. So
A very good defense, hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in
I don't
Pete
have
Hegseth.
100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
It's a pretty important position.
I have no. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
we're going to finish this interview and that's it. Again, yeah, the Terry moron is trying to press Trump, good luck with that, into acknowledging that he is 100% confident on whatever Pete Hegseth is going to do, and that is basically not possible. You cannot guarantee anything in life. You cannot pick any book from, I don't know, Tony Robbins, and that's the first thing that you find out. You cannot guarantee anything in life. You sometimes cannot guarantee your own outcomes, much less somebody else's behavior and outcomes. But again, it's like he wants Trump to say that. So if Pete Hegseth commits any sort of mistake from now on, then they could go back to this interview. But that is a trap. That is the kind of traps that you have to be very mindful. Maybe you will not be on a ABC interview, but in day-to-day conversations, manipulators do this all the time. Let's move on to this next section. And are you using your presidential powers to get personal revenge?
Are you using your powers as president to get personal revenge?
No, I'll tell you what you're really not asking, and you should be asking. There has never been a president in this country, in the history, that was persecuted like I was persecuted by really crooked people.
Notice that for this, they open up a bit the camera frame, and he was doing his, his staple, his signature gesture, the gesture that all his impersonators do. You know, that the gesture with both hands, that symmetrical gesture.
Honest, horrible people, and it's been proven. So when you say I'm treating people rough, I'm not treating people rough. I was treated worse than any president in the history of our country. And, people figured, well, maybe that's it. Finally, we got, he's leaving town. There goes the helicopter. And then I came back. And I came back because I have tremendous support. You know, when you win an election like I won it, and you will admit I won all 7 swing states, I won the popular vote, I won 2,750 districts compared to 500 districts. That's why the map is all red. And those people feel that I was treated unfairly.
Yeah, it's if you have the bragging rights, this is a friendly reminder. Oh, he's not being humble, he's bragging. If you have the bragging rights, you can just state facts. And if the facts support your bragging rights, then what is the problem? If you are good at something, it's you better make sure people find out about how good you are at something and how you achieve something. And in this case, well, okay, I was treated unfairly, and all my voters that were, well, a massive, a landslide, were not okay with the way that I was treated, and I am not using my presidency as some kind of retaliation. That's not happening. On the measles vaccine, this is important.
The president is our leader in so many ways, and your voice counts so much, and you can't tell moms and dads, yeah, it's a good thing to get a measles vaccine.
Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. I recommend it, yeah.
Got it. That
do
was
I
my
mandate
question.
it? No.
No, I didn't.
But I do recommend it, yes.
Good. Do you think you're...
And I have...
Yeah, this is a big difference. And you see that sometimes Trump can be pushy. Trump can be, let's say, a bit raw and, well, say that offensive, we could say. But sometimes he knows when he has to be fair about topics, about the decision of every family, about vaccines like measles. It's something that he knows that there's no reason to push harder than that. Has recommended that in the past. Is he going to mandate that? No. It's like giving that responsibility to every family, and for every family to make sure that they do, and they make an informed consent decision. Also, do you trust Putin? Do you trust Putin, President Trump?
Fighting. Don't
you
forget,
think he wants peace? You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think he does. I think because
even with the raining missiles
I think he really, his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust him? Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And
happy.
then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered with a tattoo doesn't have the tattoo. You know.
All right.
I mean.
Okay, in that moment, Trump made sure to avoid the question. Moron asked him directly, do you trust Putin? Okay, that is a very easy yes or no question. And Trump, he thinks very fast, and he knows that, well, either binary answer, this is a binary question, it's a yes or no. Either way, I will be compromised in some way or another, and I could like F up the process, the peace process with my response, because that is going to, if he says yes or no, whatever is his response, that is going to be all over every single headline of every single newspaper in the world. So he has to deflect the question in a way that I don't trust you, I trust many people, but he hasn't said that he doesn't trust Putin or he does trust Putin. That is important. But he's saying that Putin might have had the dream of invading Ukraine completely.
You're being dishonest.
No, I'm not.
Let me
No,
just
I am
tell
not,
you,
sir.
I don't trust a lot of people, but I do think this. I think that let's say he respects me, and I believe because of me, he's not going to take over the whole. But his decision, his choice would be to take over all of Ukraine. Okay. It's a war that never should have happened.
Yeah, that should have never happened. Again, he tried, he made sure to call Moron out when he was trying to load the questions like this.
A legal note, fraud is a crime. There have been no referrals to the Justice Department on any of
Well, you
these.
don't know that, do you? How do you know that?
Have there been
How do you
referrals
know
to the?
that?
Are there
Why,
criminal
how
referrals?
would you know that there were no referrals? I think there were referrals.
They generally, all right, there's been no investigation from the
How do
Justice
you know
Department.
that?
I'm asking you, sir.
No, you're not asking me. You made a statement. You're not
Now I'm
asking me.
asking you.
That was a statement that you made. There have
Now I'm
been.
asking you.
Have there been? Yes, there have.
So there have been referrals for fraud from the
Of
work
course
of the
there have
judge.
been. Take a look at some of these
All
things
right,
that
all
took
right,
place.
all right.
Billions of dollars were given to people for no reason whatsoever.
Again, when you get a loaded question, you have to call out the pitfall or the mistake will be to try to answer the loaded question, because that's it. A loaded question is asked in bad faith. So the moment that you answer it, you are compromising with a posture that maybe also be binary, yes or no, black or white, which will damage you in the future. So you have to be very mindful. If somebody asks you a loaded question, makes a statement, and then asks you a question in regards of the statement that they just did, you have to call them out. Hey, this is something that you are saying yourself. How do you know that happened? How do you know where does that information come from? Have you confirmed that information? There are also ways to deflect questions like this when they're loaded and they are sent to damage. So in this first 100 days interview, we have seen Trump in many instances not only deflecting questions, but also pushing hard, calling the mainstream media for what they are, sometimes being fair, sometimes being edgy, as only he knows how to do this. And, well, has been amusing all the time. But again, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Remember to download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.